Hi everyone, it's Rachel, and in this video I'll be showing you what we received in the Sorting Hat Harry Potter box by Sophie and Toffee, as well as showing you how to make some character chibis using the supplies included. So in this craft box we received a mermaid stained glass trinket dish mold, a sorting hat spinner mold, a Hogwarts castle key holders mold, sorting hat bezel charms, Harry Potter resin film, 4 colours of pigment powder, epoxy resin, and finally some UV resin. So to begin creating my Harry, Ron and Hermione chibis, I firstly poured some UV resin into a little silicone cup, and then I took a few different pigment dyes to make a flesh colour. I mixed the pigments in really well just using a popsicle stick, and then I poured this resin inside the character section of the key holders silicone mould. I did this in 2 separate layers so that I could cure the UV resin properly using a UV light. So once I took Harry, Ron and Hermione out of the mold, it was then time to begin painting. So here I'm just applying some acrylic paint onto the charms using a paintbrush and also a dotting tool for finer details. I started off by adding their hair colour, and then I moved on to their outfits, which I turned into their Hogwarts uniform. I did have to paint over some of the bumps and indents because their clothes were meant to be just their casual wear, but I tried my best to cover these up. Here I am painting on Harry's glasses using black acrylic paint and a dotting tool so that I am nice and accurate, although this was quite easy though because there was an indent for me to follow. I also added some little white light reflections in their eyes to make them super cute, and then of course we also have Harry's scar as well. Once the paint had completely dried, I then went over each chibi with a layer of UV resin or varnish just to seal everything in and make them look nice and shiny. I then of course cured this with my UV light, and I also popped them out in the sun as well. So to create the Gryffindor scarves, here I'm taking some of my polymer clay. So I have yellow and red, which I'm rolling into long snakes. Then using my blade, I'm trimming off little sections of each colour and combining these to create, I guess, what could be described as a stripy snake of clay. I rolled these colours together to help combine them a little bit more before then going over them with my rolling pin to flatten it down slightly. I then took each of my chibis and I placed the scarf over their neck and trimmed it to size. I also added a little piece of the scarf hanging down over their uniform as well and blended this on so that it was nice and secure. Finally, I used my needle tool to gently swirl around the clay and give it a nice fluffy looking texture. Once I was happy with how the scarves looked, I actually very carefully removed them and placed them on a sheet of baking paper so that I could bake them in my oven according to my package's instructions. After baking, I used some super glue to secure the scarves back down onto the chibis. You could also add an eye pin or a hook if you're wanting to make these into a charm, but I left mine as is. So here is what they look like once they're completely finished. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel for lots more crafty videos. And I'll see you next time. Bye guys.